Hey, Brandon Bliso here. This is Success Never Sleeps. It is what? September 8th, 2023, right here, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. And we're here as a collective, small business owners, martial arts school owners, and through conversation and dialogue and discovery, we find out how to make it happen for us. I don't think there's one version of success. And if someone's trying to sell you that, I would probably head the other way. I do believe there's a lot of great information out there in the world. And I do believe that we should pay attention to information if it fits our vision, if it fits our values, if it fits your clear action plan for what you want to do to create success. Like, I'm not going to study roofing if I'm a baker, right? I don't care how great that information is unless there's a leak in my building. So I want to be really, really mindful of that I make sure that the information I'm taking in is relative, because I see that a lot now, after this pandemic, all kinds of new consultants have come out of the woodwork. And do I think any of the data is innovative or different and relevant to today's post-pandemic world? I don't think so. It's just got a new bow on it and it's repackaged. And I don't say that in a cynical way, because I'm a consummate disruptor and learner. I love what if versus you can't do that. So I'm open to new and exciting ideas. Or if somebody takes an old idea and simply does it better, I'm into that. But when we live within the safe confines of that, this way is the only way because it's only ever been done this way, I'm challenged by that. And I would challenge the status quo on that as well, because if what we were doing is really working, I still see across the board, the majority of school learners haven't really moved that needle. There's still around 100 students, right? Those who survived the pandemic, and they're still just sitting there, doing the same old thing. Yet the guy with 100 students is at every event out there. Looks good at social media. Hey, I'm here learning this. Hey, I'm there learning that. Look at me here. I'm doing this. But at what point do you take that information and get into your school and go through the trial and error and the failure and the pivot and the adapting and the adjusting to take whatever information you learned and apply it to move your needle to achieve your version of success? So that's my big challenge to you today, even with the information I'm going to offer you, is what are you doing in your business to take that information and move it? I get it. I have an event every year. I have it coming up, right? Post it, Marco. It's Time Live Balance. 20 school owners, 4 days. We're going to get down and dirty. It's going to be intense, right? From personal development to training with Dave Kovar, to creating a legacy business with Terry Lee, to learning wealth building with Sam On, to me, who's had 35 years of business experience, what it takes, because I am you. I am the consummate small business owner. I am that. So I believe I can help you move that needle, but it doesn't matter who I bring that day. If you're not ready to take action, if for some reason you're stuck, all of it's irrelevant. You're simply spinning your wheels, going from event to event, and you are a professional student. Write that down. A professional student. Is that you? I hope not, because it's only through action that this becomes real life experience. And I know I'm kind of beating this one down, but as we come into these events, I want you to be mindful of that. Cool? And you better come to mine. November 11th through 14th, right here in Millburg, California. So I want to start by thanking my sponsors, of course. My sponsors are, boom, Tusa, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids of Life Skills, and LC Accounting. Quality products. I use all 5 of these services. Tusa supplies us with uniforms, sparring gear, things of that nature. Market Muscle drives my website. My Studio is our CRM system. Kids of Life Skills is the centerpiece of our curriculum with our life skills education. And LC Accounting, Letitia, she holds down the bookkeeping and what we do to manage our expenses and stay tight and right. Cool. So I want to share that with you. I don't simply align myself with people that pay me, right, because they have the deepest pockets. No, I look for services. Believe my core values of doing the right thing by people. Number 1, do the right thing by people. If your simple excuse or reasoning is it's not personal, it's business, then you and I can't have a relationship. My business is very personal, and that's why doing the right thing for me holds a deep, deep sense of integrity, and I hope it resonates with you as well. Let's say hi to some people. Who do we have? Bob Poole, as always. What's up, Bob? Jason Smith, right? We got Jason Smith from Believe Martial Arts, James Walker from Brazilian martial arts, and Bob Poole with Gold Martial Arts. As you come aboard, say hello. Say hello. You got into 2 daycare after school programs. Oh, good. You just got into 2 daycare after school programs. They reached out to me all via word of mouth. And to me, that's powerful, you know? That's powerful stuff when we make that happen. Good for you, Conrad. Yeah, I saw you respect leadership. I love it. I think it's very the way you phrased it and everything is unique to your culture, right? Respect leadership. So perfect, right? It amplifies your brand. It definitely promotes your culture. I think it's so spot on. Was that how you got into those 2 daycare and after school programs, sir? Was it through the respect leadership or just word of mouth of the great impact you're having on the community? Oh, Bob, that was you, Bob? Man, you guys messing me up. That's because it just says Facebook user, right? Some are information hoarders instead of an information harvester. Yeah. Virginia. What's up, Virginia? How's it going? So we just broke 991 active students. I posted it straight out of my studio, took a screenshot in San Francisco, took a screenshot in Millbrae. I mean, we have fought for that number. It has not been an easy road. I mean, at the height of the pandemic, I think we were as low as 725. So that's what, 2020? Here we are in 2023. And so we've only added 200 plus students. But I'm going to tell you, our black belt retention is high. Our year 3 retention is super high. And that's an indication that people are staying. I don't care if my number is 1,000. If my attrition rate, at year 1 is super high, then that's just not a good day for me. It's simply not. So I personally want to be mindful of that in everything that I do. I'm multitasking for a minute. I got Sam on sitting here with me. Me and Sam do our work all day long. If you're not with Sam on, I highly recommend you get with Sam on. And if you want to know about Sam on, DM me personally. He's one of the presenters at It's Time Live Balance. He has 127 students, and Sam is a multi-millionaire. I know that for a fact. I'm just not making up stuff. And when he realized 30 years ago that he could take the money he made in his school and learn to invest it in a disciplined manner, 30 years later, he's a multi-millionaire. And you can be too. I'm at the highest level of net worth ever in my investment portfolio, but it is a discipline. It is a discipline. I don't just give it to Sam and let him do it. There's no way. I'm actively involved in understanding and learning because I'm a learner. You know me, whether it's social media, whether it's web design, whether it's curriculum design, whether it's communication, whether it's leadership, I'm all about learning. And that learning for me offers me a very unique perspective. I think as a small business owner, we need to wear a lot of hats and we need to wear them really, really, really well. This jack of all trades, master of none does not exist anymore. We have too much information accessible where we can't become a master of many things, or at least well enough to impact and grow our businesses efficiently, right? It is. So Jason Smith, what's he saying there? Marco, pop that up. Kids of Life Skills supports us with the tools to partner with our local schools with quality life skills education. Yeah, I just saw that, Jason. Jason does a Reader of the Day, which is something I highly recommend. And that's a perfect segue into talking about, how to get into the elementary schools. I mean, if you're going to sit there and go in and teach martial arts, you're screwed. The average teacher is going to think you teach violence, but everybody's looking for Reader of the Day. Reader of the Day. It's a very low barrier of entry. It's a very standard, embraced barrier of entry. And if you're doing something like Jason, where you're giving away copies of Focus, The Adventures of Bray and Tay, a little QR code, they scan it and they get a free trial. You're never going to miss with that. He donates the books to the library itself. He gives it away to the kids. I do the same thing. Jason, you inspired me by that, sir. We would read the book and give a copy to the teacher, but never did we were so bold as to make such an impression. I mean, imagine if that one day the kid goes to school, he comes home, but that kid goes to school and comes home with a copy of that book that the parent can use as a tool. I bow down to you, Jason. I'm not worthy. Very good stuff, sir. And I love that sort of disruption, right? I love that sort of disruption. James, by hyper focusing on one school, I have been invited to speak at the district principals meeting. And I think that's important too. I witness people and they'll post their video, right? It's back to teacher day, before the school's ever open. And they drive from school to school to school to school in their uniform and they give away boxes of donuts. That is lame. Can I say that? Is it okay? It's just played out, people. And people see a mile away because there's no real thought put into that. There's no real investment into the relationship, which is super important. We are kids driven service, most of us. And if you're a kids driven service, you need to be in cahoots with the elementary school system. That's it. I mean, that's it. If you don't know that, then you're not even on the playing field with this. Cool. So hold that thought. What else is James saying? Oh, James saying kids love life skills, snow cones, and cotton candy events, Nerf wars, and laser tag for award celebrations. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. I mean, whatever combination of those different things puts you in good standing, I'll say, good standing with the PTA and the school district, then you're definitely in there. So, as I posted in the past month, we've done 2 kindergarten meet and greets. Write that down. Kindergarten meet and greets. Because it's late in the game. You can't really do it now. But next summer, you should, in August, before everyone goes back to school, you should be already have kindergarten meet and greets booked, right? The details of it are very simple. But what's more important is the why. Everybody coming out of preschool maybe know 1 or 2 kids, but they do not know all the parents in that kindergarten class. There's several kindergarten class or pre-K, pre-kindergarten. So there's a lot of anxiety. We went through it as parents. We're bringing our kids to this big, giant elementary school after being in this little bitty preschool where we knew everybody and we sang, freaking happy songs and stuff. Now we're going into the real world, right? Elementary school. It's overwhelming. And it is for our children. So you're looking for a kinship. You're looking for anchors. You're looking for people to connect with. And so to be able to offer this, and we go to the PTA. PTA has the entire email list of all the incoming elementary school kindergartners and pre-K because they want to advocate to those parents to join the PTA, right? So you give them a platform where they can get up there and say, hey, I'm so-and-so from the PTA. We're here for you. Join us. We do this fundraiser and that fundraiser. That's wonderful. 2, the free venue of your school is amazing. 3, you supply treats, right? We're at the point now where they bring their own treats because they're just so enamored with the fact that we do this for them. But in the beginning, I would offer that as well. And if you do it in the afternoon, you don't need pizza and all that. We're talking fruit snacks and healthy granola bars and juice boxes, just very, very basic. So it's not costing you a lot of money. And if you do it yourself, you save on staffing, right? But here's the kicker. We take kids love life skills, confidence, teamwork, right? And we develop drills out of the Excellent Kids programs that allow them to interact. One that we do, we have the rows of red dots down the middle of the floor. One kid stands on this dot. One kid stands on this dot. Confidence means to believe in yourself. How do you believe in yourself? You never give up. Always do your best. Work really, really hard. Okay. We're going to learn confidently how to say my name. My name is Johnny Smith. Awesome. Now you have to walk up to your new friend and say, hello, my name is Johnny Smith. What is your name? And how do we best parent? By example. So while they're prompting the kids and encouraging them to do this and meet a new friend, the parents are interacting. Who's with me on that? Anybody? And then we rotate and they do it with a new kid and they rotate. And that can be 10 minutes of the party right there because they're rotating. And every time they rotate, they're in front of a new kid walking up to them, building their confidence, earning a confidence life skills badge, and they're meeting a new parent. That's why they're there. It'll be a huge miss if you freaking launch into a sales fest and just try to sell your martial arts classes. Please, please, please don't do that. Don't do that. Think creatively. And Virginia, you're brilliant at this. I'm sure you're all going, I know what I want to do, right? Right? Be kind, be brave. Okay, we're going to practice being kind. Go up to your new friend and say hello. We're going to practice being brave. Walk up to somebody new and introduce yourselves. Man, it's a perfect drill for you guys too, right? And so cultivate those drills. And it's powerful. First meet and greet, 40 kids at my dojo. Oh, James, what did you do the meet and greet for? Tell me. Was it a kindergarten meet and greet? Yeah, we had about 40 and 40. And it was just a brilliant thing. But see, we either schedule it before their nap time, because they're kindergartners, right? Or schedule it after their nap time. You with me? And nap time's normally 1 to 2:30, somewhere in there. So either do it from 11 to 12:30, 90 minutes is perfect, or do it in the afternoon, right? From 3 to 4:30. Perfect. Perfect. It worked really well on the Sunday because I guess, everyone goes shopping and church and all that stuff. Kids eat lunch, take their nap. And so by, 3 o'clock, they were raring to go. They were raring to go. Be brave and introduce yourself. Be kind and offer a compliment to your new friend. I love it. There you go, Virginia. There's your whole. Now write the system to train your team, to demonstrate the drill, choose a leader, and execute it. Brilliant. Brilliant. Then we did one with teamwork, right? Where now the kids held the pads for each other, right? And they each did 10 kicks. And they were learning to do what? Okay, we're going to share and take turns. Now give the pad to your new friend, right? And they'll hold it for you and you kick it 10 times. So there's another drill that we use straight out of Excellent Kids that works really, really well. And organically, yes, at the front counter, right by the front door. So when they come in or out, there are handouts and QR codes of the after school program, of the Excellent Kids program, of the youth karate, of the day camps, even fitness kickboxing for the moms we put there. So all of that was there. And organically, what did we get out of that? 2 new after schoolers and I want to say 3 kids into our Excellent Kids program. No hard sell. No, even talking about it. All we did was really promote the life skills, create this event, this experience that really was honed in and dedicated and focused to what? A meet and greet. Just please don't do that. It's going to be a huge miss if you launch into that. Kindergarten at 1 to 2. Good for you, James. Good for you, right? And that was, again, me being a parent filled with anxiety. It was never created. My wife and I created it out of let's get more students. How can we get more students? Please take that off the table right now because nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. The whole strategy here is to position your business at one that cares and gives back. That's it. That is freaking it. You with me? Tell me, are you with me? James, tell them this works. Next year, I'm going to do goodie bags for parents with a simple flyer, but great parenting. Yeah, sure, James. Absolutely. I'm not saying it's wrong to have a QR code sitting up there with handouts and stuff, right? I'm not saying that's wrong. Just don't let it be your focal point, right? Don't let it be your focal point. And if you do that, I think what's happening for us, and you saw the video, go back through the thread. We had that one kindergarten meet and greet where the mom who was on the PTA, one of the co-presidents, shared. Thank you, to Professor and One Martial Arts for offering this for us. And she started to cry because when her son came to us, he wouldn't even get on the mat. And now he leads classes. You cannot buy that kind of press. You cannot buy that Disney moment. You cannot create it. You cannot manifest it. You cannot strategically write a system for it. It happened organically out of simply caring, out of simply doing the right thing. Put it in the comments if you're with me with that, right? It's not even passive marketing, James. It's simply caring for people. I'm a business that cares. I'm a business that gives back. I'm a business that pays it forward. That's it. That's it. All day, every day. Okay? So, kindergarten meet and greets, we got it. You're going to work on that now. But how do you get in cahoots with the PTA? Well, that's a good question. Because you and your mother and everybody else are standing in line trying to get into the school system. That's the challenge. And that's why right away, of course, when I was green, PE teacher of the day. Okay. Great. Let me go do that. Well, ABC Martial Arts already does that. And behind him is Joe's Martial Arts. And behind them in that line is Mary Sue Martial Arts. Oh, so I can get in this line, but I'm going to be in this line a long time, huh? Okay. So to me, that was a mute point right away. Just mute. The PE teacher of the day, everybody was doing that because that is what we're told to do. So just by default, we were forced into a more creative role, innovative role, disruptive role, right? So you saw the picture I posted the other day. The Mills High School Sports Booster Club had a meeting in our facility, right? We just donated. Sunday, couple of hours. My wife is on that committee. Perfect. Took the picture, posted it. People love us. That's it. How can you market? It's a bunch of adults having a meeting about how to raise money for the sports teams at Mills, right? Nothing more, nothing less. But the facility's there. It's empty anyways. Donate it. So go to your PTA. You have that back room, right? Donate it to the PTA for a meeting. And you know what? We'll supply pizza. You know what? Tell them to bring their kids. We'll watch the kids on the mat and do life skills and board breaking and dodgeball so more people can attend this meeting. How does that sound? Versus, well, we can't come to the PTA meeting. It's not convenient. I have to feed the kids and I got to make dinner and they need to do homework and blah, 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 blah. Go a step further. Have a homework helper. Homework help, pizza, dodgeball while the PTA meets in the back. Why not? That's a hell of a lot better than simply asking to be, the PE teacher of the day or showing up on teacher development day and giving a box of donuts. Because see, what that identifies, okay, and this is where I think it's brilliant, and I will say brilliant, is much like any form of marketing, we need to make an emotional connection, correct? Put it in the comments. We need to make an emotional connection. So if we understand for the PTA, their frustration that a lot of people can't come to the PTA meeting because they don't have a babysitter. They got to make dinner. It's a weeknight, right? They got to feed the kids, and the kids may have not finished their homework. If you cover all of those obstacles, guess what? More parents are likely to attend. You appease the need of the PTA. You appease the need of the parent and the kids. It's such a win-win. It's a huge win-win. No, it's a really big win-win. And so through that process, we are now in a first name being called first basis. I don't stand in any line. Any line, any line. Tonight, my wife is volunteering to work the snack bar at the JV football game at Mills. Okay. Now, my wife does this. She's on the yard committee for my daughter's middle school. She still sits on the PTA. I'm telling you, that needs to happen. I cannot tell you. San Francisco's 23 years old. But Millbrae at this point makes more money because San Francisco is really urban. It's more fragmented. So we count on Facebook ads. But make no mistake, next week I'm at West Portal School doing a confidence building assembly. But I'll explain that one in a minute. Somebody hold that thought. Put it in the comments, okay? Let me take a deep breath. All right. If you just come aboard, I see a lot of people sitting there. Tell me your name. Tell me where you're tuning in from. What is the square footage of the Millbrae School? 3,700 square feet, sir. 37. But at both locations, see, that's my size. Because with 3,700 square feet, stay with me, we can have a certain room set up for 36 after schoolers at $760 a month. All right. After that, it's just you're bleeding out in payroll and vans and everything. We found a spot that made a lot of sense. 36 active after schoolers at $760 a month. Premium. We're one of the most expensive after school programs out there, but people look at it as safe. They look at it as a boutique program and look at it as one that's going to care better for their child. There is an audience for that. Right now, we're only at 26 kids, but as they find these huge ones aren't working, their kids aren't getting the attention, we always pick up the other 10. Okay? So that's that model. Plus, it works for our day camp. And Millbrae, the room is soundproof. San Francisco, we have 2 levels, so we can put the campers upstairs. Same square footage, because what I saw in our industry, which is dominant, 1,400 square feet. That's it. 100, 150 students, one person's running that location, right? Maybe an assistant, then you replicate that behavior 3 to 5 miles down the road. It's a Starbucks. It's in the book Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. The tipping point's 100, 150, right? That's it. You can do that model. But I believe at 3,700 square feet, I have a bigger budget, bigger marketing, bigger revenue, bigger payroll and everything, but it gives us the opportunity to have a bigger footprint. And Millbrae was proof of that. Took 7 years to make $1 million in SF. We did it in 3 years in Millbrae. Millbrae's on the path to do 50,000 this year. Well over 2 million between the 2 locations. So that's why we do 3,700 square foot, James, because I base that also, James, upon $1 million grossing school with a 35% net. 40 dots on the floor, 30 to 40 bucks a pop, $1,200 a class, 5 classes a day, $6,000, right? Stay with me. We do that on Monday and Wednesday. We do that on Tuesday and Thursday. Now we're at 12,000. We do that again on Saturday because once a week programs are right in there. So you look at that. That's already what, right? That's already what? So do the math. And that's how we ended up at $1 million. We needed 500 students. So we needed a schedule to accommodate that. Because what's 500 students? People ask me, how did this all come to be? And this is where you need to know numbers and study numbers, right? 500 students times the average of $229 is $114,000 times 12. There's your $1 million school. That's 1.3 million, right? But kickboxing is a little lower and all those different things. We do no family discounts, no sibling discounts, because when I look out on that floor, James, every dot is real estate, right? My landlord doesn't charge me less for that spot or more for that spot of square footage. It's exactly the same. So when I look at that map, when I'm deciding that number that we want to generate, it's everybody pays the same amount. There's no student discounts in our school, no sibling discounts, none of that. Okay, you with me? All right, so getting back to that. Who said that? And I thought it was cool. I learned it from Dwayne Spires when he said the 3 things we can do, when getting in cahoots with the community at large. 1, services. 2, your time. 3, money. Okay? Now, we've always done that, but to hear Dwayne say that was really good reinforcement. So kudos to you, Dwayne. So what can I do? Service. I can offer free weeks of camp to silent auctions. Please do not offer 2 weeks and a freaking t-shirt trial to a silent auction. Every time I go to silent auction that we've donated to, and I walk the floor and look at the tables, right? Which we bid on, by the way, as One Martial Arts to give back as well. Most martial arts schools, that's what they have. And nobody bids on it. Nobody. Now, give away a premium birthday party worth $750. We have people bidding for that all day long. Give away a couple of weeks of day camp. We have people bidding on that all day long. My wife was brilliant. There was an all-girls school, and we gave away a self-defense workshop, right? And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. There's Sam again. I'm so grateful. I work with Sam all day long. Hang on. Because this is part of my lifestyle. And I'm doing this live because I want you to know what it takes. I think people work with Sam and they just think Sam should hand you money, and work it for you. It simply doesn't work that way. It does not. And if you want it to work that way, I think you're fooling yourself. I think it's really important to understand that if your goal is to make money, you still have to work it. This lame mentality that you're simply going to hand people your money and they're going to invest it for you is nuts. It's just freaking nuts. I'm going to say it. It's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. And so me and Sam go at it like this all day. All day. All day. All day. Cool. So think of those 3 areas. Service. Second one is what? Time. My wife being there tonight at the JV football game, working the snack bar, wearing a One Martial Arts hoodie. Come on. Time. Donating in our facility for kindergarten meet and greet. time. And then last is money. We probably donate, in the excess of $8,000 to $10,000 a year, right? I just found out from my wife we're going to buy warm-up jerseys for the JV basketball team. Serves two animals, right? My son's on the team, and everybody in the world will know when martial arts does that. I just bought a banner which sits all day long. We did it last year, sits all year long on the pathway to the parking lot to the football field, all year long. And the reason that is because AYSO uses that that football field. People walk that track every day. So everybody sees that banner that says One Martial Arts. Cool. Let's see. Am I in a position to do this? We're running hard today. Sam keeps me on my toes. I love Sam. I love Sam. And I love Sam some more. So I know it's not always easy to donate money, but if you can do that, you want to hit the trifecta, as I call it, right? All three avenues. But again, if you're doing lame things like 2 weeks in a t-shirt, forget it. Just forget it, man. Just forget it, because they're going to see right through that BS. And I remember back to school night one time. And this Saturday, I have a back to school event at Green Hills Elementary to promote after school and all our programs. We will be out there with the cotton candy machine and the bubble machine, right? We won't go as big as the Art and Wine Festival, but we'll be there. Cool? So, but the ulterior motive of going in there and just selling your stuff, stop it. So at this back to school night was me, Justin's Ring Company, an orthodontist, right? And he was giving out stress balls. Why in the hell do you give out stress balls at an elementary event? That doesn't make any freaking sense. These kids were throwing this thing all over the gym. It was silly, right? The Justin's guy was like, get 50% off your yearbook or ring. And next year, guess what? They were gone. Gone. Why? Because they did not see the ROI. Stop it. Stop with the ROI stuff. Somebody gave that to me last week. They go, wow, you were out there for 2 days. Your school was so dirty. You had all those people in your school eating and playing dodgeball and hanging out. How much money did that cost you? How many new students did you get? What was your ROI? Why do you think I'm silent? Put it in the comments. Tell me why. Because I believe that mindset is very debilitating, and there's no relationship that's going to hang with you, play with you, be with you if your only angle is what's in it for me. I witness that stuff all the time. All you think about is what's in it for me, right? You got to stop that. You really need to stop that. If you want to be positioning yourself as a business that cares, as a business that gives back. Because if you can do that, the potential for a long-term relationship, to be on a first name basis with PTAs, with principals. I sat there on the first day of school intentionally. I went to pick up the after schoolers, right? I did that at one of the schools. First thing I did was walk into the principal's office. How many of you can walk into the principal's office right now? Go. Tell me. How many of you right now can walk into the principal's office? Tell me. Right now. How many of you can do that? Go. Boom, I did it. I'm investing at the same time in selling stock. How many of you right now can do that? You know how long it took us to get into this position? Took us a long time. I can. Who's I can? Yes, we have an open door with them. Good. ROI, return on inspiration. Love it. And see, it's just a mindset shift, right? It's a mindset shift because there is no ROI and planting, nurturing, harvesting. The ROI comes when you go to market. Man, James, you're becoming my Yoda. And so, yeah, and tomorrow I will do the back to school. It is good publicity, right? When the owner shows up and I'm out there, because I'm going to talk to the principal at Green Hills, who we pick up for the after school, who we do a kindergarten meet and greet for. It's just like putting a bow on this thing. You know what I mean? Wrapping it up. I can easily send the team there tomorrow. Easily. easily, because my son has a couple of basketball games. But balance, life balance. He plays 3 games on Sunday. I will go watch him on Sunday. But where do I need to be tomorrow? Because my wife is at my daughter's soccer games and setting up her birthday party. One of us need to be there. Are you with me? Is anybody with me on this? Anybody? So it's more a mindset than anything, right? Because if you think once you become a millionaire, you stop working. No, no, no. Elon Musk goes to work. Warren Buffett goes to work, and they're billionaires, billionaires, right? An active owner will always have a bigger impact on a business than anything. You just will. You just will. So I'm an advocate for that. I like being on the mat. I enjoy it. It keeps me young. It gives me purpose. And honestly, I'd rather hang out with a 4-year-old. They don't know there's a war in Ukraine. They don't know there's this craziness going on. So it does. It keeps my head right. So for me, it works all day, every day. And I've seen the difference because I wasn't teaching before the pandemic. And now that I'm back and I'm there a couple of days a week, it makes a huge difference. Our numbers, it's like we got everything going on. Everybody's doing it. The whole team's doing it. I'm doing it. The copy work, the innovative copy work and Facebook ads I'm doing with Dojo Launch, soon to be Kin Creative. All that is just like, we're revamping the curriculum. We're training teams. We're building bench strength. We're doing everything you're supposed to do in a business. Everything. And that's why you yield the results. You yield the results. So be mindful of that. Okay. So cotton candy machine. James, you want to tell them about it? You want to tell them, James? Tell them about the cotton candy machine. And I'm going to tell you about this for a minute, okay? Because when I came out with the cotton candy machine, it wasn't this earth-shattering thing, right? I didn't sit there and freaking lose my mind. It was a pretty simple thing, very simple. I sat there and I was at a fair. I was at a county fair, all these food booths and all these rides. The longest line, the hell is that over there? It was the cotton candy line. It was the longest line. And these people are paying for it. It's the longest line. We all have the nostalgia of a little cotton candy as a kid ourselves, so we want to introduce our kids to it. Here, experience what I had as a child. Dun, dun, dun. Now imagine if you gave it away for free. Ask Marco. Ask Jason, right? But what happened in the industry, there was backlash, and specifically it came from Tom Callos. I'm going to say that out loud. And I think he's over it because we saw each other at an event we were speaking together. And he asked me to untangle his glasses because he couldn't see. And he had, the little string on his glasses. So maybe that's his way of saying, you're okay, Brandon. Because I love Tom. He's been a huge inspiration for me, but he was upset with me. And he was very verbal about it. How dare you? And he was public about it. How dare you give out cotton candy and sugar and diabetes and all that? You're entitled to that. You're right. But you know what? It's up to the parent, just like video games or anything, right? You didn't have to. And you know how many parents, tell me, how many of you guys have parents come up to you and say, can you make me a small one? We love that. We love that. That is one of the reasons why we do not bag up the cotton candy beforehand. Somebody asked me that. Well, it's so much work. You're covered in sugar. Why do you do that? Right? It's that magic, that Disney moment of the kid looking over the bowl in anticipation. And then you make the one to their size the parents need. I want my kid to taste this, but don't give me a big freaking one. That happens at every event. Tell me, guys, doesn't it? Tell me, doesn't it? It does, right? James is like a magic key. Sir, you are the ninja millionaire. I am. And more than that, thank you to Sam. Thank you to Sam on. Yeah, it's such a good place to be at 61. I'm going to divert for a minute because to be in this position of financial security and doing what I love again, which is to teach, I've kind of come full circle, right? And to be in a position where I'm not grinding and hustling and doing free gigs out there to get consulting clients and to look at the industry and say, you want Brandon Beliso? You pay for Brandon Beliso. I'm coming to the plate with this wisdom and knowledge that's going to impact your attendees. I'm not going there for airfare, hotel room, and a per diem. And so, yeah, it's allowed me to really cultivate something unique with its time. And so I know a lot of you are coming to it. Only 20 though, okay? Only 20 for 4 days, 60 for the 2 day. We can do that because Dave Kovar will do the training. And Sunday we have Terry Lee and Adam Lodi. Yeah, I'm in a really good place. And the other day I drove by the parking lot, and to look at that parking lot and know that I stood out there at 7:30 in the morning with a leaf blower, blowing that thing out, wearing a mask during the pandemic, praying it wasn't going to rain, to be where we are right now. I thought I was grateful then. I am beyond grateful. I'm in a place of bliss every day. I wake up healthy. I wake up able to teach. I wake up to impact the community. I wake up to serve my family, my team, right? It's such a beautiful place to be. And I'm going to relish it because this too shall pass, right? Yep. Parents love the small cones themselves. They do. They do. They do. They do. Just don't get the cheap cotton candy machine. Everybody's learned that the hard way, including me, right? Actually, setting up banners on the street to give away snow cones, cotton candy, and when it gets cold, hot chocolate at the school every weekend. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, sir. All of it is good, James, right? You're just giving. I know people, the spiritual enrichment I feel just by giving, whether we get a student or not, you can't measure. You can't measure. You can't. So, cotton candy, back to school nights, huge. Offer it. Movies in the park, offer it. If you're in a place like there's a lot of churches, why not offer it after church on a Sunday? There's so many opportunities, including in front of your own school. There's so many opportunities. And all we do is put a QR code with an acrylic sign, cotton candy, courtesy of Moen Martial Arts. Pre-K, 3 to 5 year olds, scan here, QR code. With the QR codes, it's so great because we don't clutter up the table with a lot of handouts, but I keep an accordion with handouts in it. If somebody asks a little more, fine. And you'd be amazed because they're standing in line for cotton candy. There's almost this guilty thing, do you have, this or that? It's okay, right? And we're cool with that. I invite the parents to relieve their child's what? To relive their childhood. Yeah. Yep, with cotton candy. It puts a smile on their face. It is because you're trying to create an emotional connection. That's where every relationship begins, doesn't it? Right? It does. I had an emotional connection with my wife, so we're married 17 years later. You have an emotional connection with somebody, you want to engage with them. So it really is about that. That's I don't think it's a line, James. I think it's true. Relive your childhood. Take a walk down memory lane. Share your memory with your child, and enjoy this cotton candy. Sure, why not? Put it on a banner, hang it up. So the cotton candy's huge. It's really huge, but again, it's a huge miss. Somebody told me that what they did, if you want cotton candy, you have to give me your name and email. I went, you see that face? You hear my silence? I don't even know what to say to that. But what I try to do, because I'm big into study humanism, I get it. You got to grow your school. I get it. You're afraid. What if I fail? I get it. What if I do if I can't make my rent? Right? God, will my family lose their home? What? I understand that. I do. But if you could be patient with that farmer mentality, like you hear James saying, and I would feed this to him in the beginning, I think you want to kick me in the nads, right? Think like a farmer. You rototill the ground, pull the weeds, fertilize the dirt. Do you have crop yet to sell? You make the rows, you plant the seeds, you cover it, you water it. Do you have harvest you can sell yet? Crop? No. It sprouts. Got a little sprout there. Do you have crop that you can harvest to sell? No. But you think of a premium crop like walnuts over a 7-year period to get a mature walnut tree. Once you have that mature walnut tree, it produces nuts year in and year out for, I don't know, 10 to 20 years with very little prompting or watering, and it's very simple, right? So if you're willing to forego that and you're willing to do that, the potential, is powerful. 2010. Okay. So for me, it just, once I really understood that farmer mentality, that's when I shifted from, I don't want leads, I don't want trials, I don't even want students. I want relationships. And once I shifted that way, my marketing, my social media posts, everything became about the why and the purpose and storytelling. And more than that, people, it was the trusting. Right, James? Tell people. In the beginning, when you lost students, when things were down, when we're going through this upheaval, didn't you want to, wring my neck? Come on. That's perfectly human, right, James? That's honest. But where are you today in that process? Post that for people. Where are you in that process today? Got called the Cotton Candy Man the other day. Right, reminded me of Sammy Davis Jr. Make Your Dream. Yeah. Put a smile on my face when, yeah. Who can make the sunrise? Maybe I ought to play that in your group. The Candy Man can. Yeah, sure. Because I grew up in a world of I'm the master and all this stuff, and you put your instructor. We're just people, man. We put our pants on one leg at a time, you know. And honestly, my poop stinks just like yours, and I think it's the ego that makes us want to sit there and perpetrate this image and live behind the facade. I can't do that. It's way too much energy. And my kids taught me that. My kids don't give a crap, professor or whoever I am in the industry, or I don't give a crap. They're freaking 14 trying to figure this thing out. And I'm along for the ride some days, right? I drive my kids to school every morning. It's the most humbling act in the world. And I love that sense of humility. I just do. Oh, James, some days I still do. But now today it's because I'm busy serving. And you will reap the benefits. You will. But as the cliche goes, everything great is built over time, right? Over time. And as long as you're not bleeding out, and that's what it was during the pandemic. I've shared that openly. I took home something like $700,000 in 2019. 2020, I took home 160. I was knocked to my knees. But I knew my vision, I knew my purpose, I knew my strategy, my plan of action, even through the uncertainty. And I have other investments. So my family was taken care of, my team was taken care of, everything was cool, right? But I'm the leader of the band. I'm the one who sucks it up. I'm the one who expands and contracts. You can't do that to a team and keep your team intact. You with me? You with me? And so that sense of humility is why I'm dedicated to you, right? The small business owner, the martial arts school owner, the common man, right? I have nothing in common. I don't want to talk to you about what car I just bought. I don't want to talk to you about what stock I'm investing in. It doesn't help you at all. And that's what those talks became. We'd sit in speaker meetings before the meetings, and this meet and greet, and it was just like, oh, made my head spin because it's not what I signed up for. So I took a different path, and here we are. And when I begin to see people like James finally seeing it and getting it for his own benefit, it's powerful. It will work. It simply will. And when you can put it together, like last week, somebody criticized me. Your demo team, they're a bunch of beginners in yellow belts, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, that's cool. You don't get it. Tell me why. People, help me out. And this is, again, a mindset thing. Why do I stack my team with beginners and yellow belts? Go. Go. Come on. Tell me. Nobody? Come on. Help me out. Okay, while I'm waiting for those comments, let's kind of summarize. Okay, number one, I want to make sure that I'm serving, right? So I'm going to donate myself everywhere I can. I'm going to volunteer to work the food shack. I'm going to volunteer to work the white zone. I'm going to volunteer to uh, do e-waste. That's a big one. When Kim, my wife, started donating her time to the e-waste on Saturdays for this elementary school, that was huge, because the one thing that happens there, and you need to know this, anytime you donate your service like that, is you're hanging out with the PTA president. You're having morning coffee with the PTA president. You with me on that? Who's with me on that? And when they see you donating your valuable time to take used computers and stuff in this e-waste line out of the trunks of cars, huge, huge. And that was like a low barrier because they didn't really know us yet. So we couldn't offer a kindergarten meet and greet, right? We couldn't offer a conda candy machine. We couldn't offer those things because they didn't really know us yet. They didn't know what our motive was. So service was a great one. To donate my time to serve pasta at a silent auction crab, event was powerful. To work in the kitchen during the crab feed and have several PTA presidents walk through there and see us sweating it out, right? No motive, just serving. That was the lowest entry of barrier that any of us can do right now. Do it right now. Right now. I share the one about the crossing guard. My wife, one morning I woke up, she said, throw on a One Martial Arts hoodie, and handed me a couple of stop signs. I said, what am I doing here? She goes, well, somebody called in sick at our daughter's elementary school for crossing guard. So you're going to be the substitute crossing guard. I said, what? And there I was. And of course, I'm writing better systems to do it. I stood in the middle of the street like in Japan, and I was directing four-way traffic. People thought I was crazy, but it worked. Anyways, but the point I'm making was, out of the simple act of service, somebody posted later on their own personal page, here is Brandon Beliso, the owner of One Martial Arts, donating time from his busy schedule to keep our children safe. Drop the mic. You with me? You with me on that? And that's just, I can't tell you how powerful that is. I can't tell you how many people posted last week. Thank you to One Martial Arts. They let us use the bathroom. We could get a load off our feet at this art and wine festival, escape the heat, eat cotton candy. We even had my wife's friends coming and going, can we sit in the back and eat lunch? Because you buy, food off these vendors. There's nowhere to sit and eat. And we said, absolutely. And their kids were playing dodgeball on the mat. We were just people communing together. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Right? So to do those types of things. And then, you know what really surprised me last week? Nextdoor. People, if you're not set up at nextdoor.com, you need to. Because I will post there things like, hey, this is Brandon and Kim. We're residents of Meadows. And just to let you know, we have this great summer camp program if you have kids, right? Just that's a different angle. And it's very cool because the kinship is we're all residents of Millbrae. So when I was posting stuff about the Art and Wine Festival last week, huge replies, huge likes, all from who? People that live in your community. Very powerful. So if you don't have your businesses and a personal page set up at Nextdoor, I highly recommend that. Another one I found out at Google, this is off the subject. You can now link your social media pages to your Google business page. Did everybody see that the other day? Put it in the comment. I want to see who took action on that. Who went back to their Google business page and put their social media links to Instagram, to YouTube, and to your Facebook? Who did it? Who did it? Because the website's already there, right? Who did it? Tell me you did it. Come on, I want to see who took action. Okay, so we're going to start wrapping this big dog up. So what are we going to do? We're going to get in cahoots with the PTA. How are we going to do that? Low barrier. We are going to serve. We are going to serve. We're going to volunteer our time any which way that we can. First place, okay? Make it happen. I don't care if you're single, if you're a parent, a grandparent, makes no difference. They are happy because every PTA is understaffed. Everyone. My wife just said it today. Nobody wants to volunteer to do the snack shack. Nobody wants to do that, right? So they're always in need of volunteers. That is the lowest barrier of entry. Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Go. You have captive audience. You're hanging out with the PTA president at E-Waste, right? You're hanging out in the kitchen with the PTA, committee, dishing out pasta. Do it. Please do it. Then the next phase is, of course, we have a cotton candy machine. We have a bubble machine. We have kindergarten meet and greets, right? We'd love to donate all of that. Can we donate something to the silent auction? The impact of that is powerful. When we do something like a crab feed, I'm working in the kitchen. My wife is serving food. You see our name on the ticket. You see our name on the silent auction giving away a week of camp, right? We're donating our facility to watch the kids so more parents could come to this crab feed. That is huge. A parents' night out during a crab feed so more parents can attend the crab feed. And if the PTA wants to charge, they can. And all the money goes to the PTA. Rock and roll. Parents' night out should be tied into any of those events. You got me? Not just PTA meetings, everything. And then they see the cotton candy in the corner. That's like 8 or 9 touch points, right? 8 or 9 touch points. But if you go into these elementary schools and it's what's in it for me attitude, you will not survive. After 1 year, you will either leave because you're looking for the ROI, or they will organically stop using you because it's all about what's in it for me. We had a big talk about that, with Kin Creative, about believing. Believing's a tough one because believing doesn't have the substance of data. I just believe. I believe by doing the right thing, by giving back to the community, we will reap tenfold, right? We will reap it tenfold. I believe that. Does it happen in a day? No. Will it happen in a year? I don't know when it's going to happen, but it does. To the tune of what? 991 students as of today between 2 locations. We're back to pre-pandemic numbers where, 1,000 was where we want to be. So we're 9 students away from 1,000. We'll have our best grossing year ever in business at the pace we're going, ever in business. And it's a culmination of everything. Facebook ads, right? Keeping our social media up, keeping our Google business page active, making sure we're using a strong website like Market Muscles, which helps us rank high. I have the #1 martial arts blog. Go to Google, put martial arts blog. Boom. #1 is One Martial Arts. See, so you can't market one way to 70 people. You have to market 70 ways. And someone said to me the other day, that's a lot of freaking work. And your point is? So yeah, the past 4 Fridays, I worked the demo team. Yeah. Last weekend, I worked, I don't know how many hours between Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. I'll be at the Green Hills Elementary this Saturday. Yeah. Tuesday, I'll be at the elementary school. What is your point? And I will help teach classes. What is your point? You chose to do the hardest thing in the world to be a small business owner, but you're also in the most lucrative if you choose to do the work, the right work. But make no mistake, you will do the 80 so you don't have to do 40, right? You will. And this was the shift during the pandemic. Yes, before the pandemic, I was boasting, I work 2 hours a week. Then God has a way of humbling all of us, right? Here's a pandemic, uncertainty. What are you going to do now? What an opportunity to step up and be a level 5 leader. And here we are. Here we are. And that's what I want to close with today. All right. You got to do the work. And thank you, James, for doing the work. I mean, you're seeing the results, you're doing the work, and you're having a good freaking time, aren't you? Aren't you? Right? Aren't you? And that's just a brilliant thing, man. I just love it. I love it when people, because I know my methods are not the same old thing, regurgitated, repackaged. I know I don't have the slickest Facebook, little copies and captions and emojis and whatever. But what I believe I speak is a truth that resonates at the heart. And on a human level, people are people. And at a heart level, people will see through the smoke and mirrors of that. I hope you do. I hope you do, because if you recognize that and you're a legacy business that wants to be there year after year after year, then you need to invest in these relationships. You with me? All right. So let's thank our sponsors. Who are they? Who are they? Aha. To Saw, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. We love you. They're sponsoring our event coming up. If you don't know of these services, reach out to any of us and we will tell you how amazing they are. Every one of them. And every one of these businesses I use, they don't simply sponsor me. I use every one of these businesses and I have for years. So, like the mafia, I can vouch for them. Cool. What's coming up? It's Time Live Balance, November 11th through 14th, right here, Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from San Francisco Airport. 20 school owners for 4 days, 60 school owners for 2 days. That's what we have offered right now. You can save $200 off the 4-day experience right now. Right now. Me, Dave Kovar, Terry Lee. Why? We are legacy businesses. Every one of these people you see there have been successful decade after decade after decade. Sam On, 30 years now, one school, multimillionaire, decade after decade after decade. Adam, he's the youngin' on the block. But the yin to my yang is I want to bring new innovation to digital media because that's what's changing constantly. And working with them through my wisdom program, we went from, I think he said, 20,000 a month to 80,000 a month in 4 or 5 short months. That's powerful. That's the impact of the strategies I have. Plus, they're a great business and they're a great team. So he'll be there for digital media. Go to brandonbeliso.com, look at Marco Poster, right? And get signed up now. Don't wait. Sign up now. Spend 4 days with us. It'll change your life. I promise you. Cool? All right. So I want to say thank you. As always, thank you to Marco. I love you, my brother. Our little Christian just started preschool, so he was having a little rough day today. But Uncle B loves you there, guy. So remember that. I love you guys. You just give me so much purpose every day. And to hear your success through the grind, to hear your success, what we went through together in the pandemic, it makes my day because that's why God put me here. This is my purpose. This is what I do. Of course, as a business, I need to scale and monetize and make no mistake, but how blessed am I? I'm Brandon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, you go out there, live your best life.